I love Star Trek, which is why I hate bad Star Trek. And happy Easter, everyone! It's time to finally conclude this year's Not Our Savior Month, which began last episode because Valentine's Day fell on Ash Wednesday, and, well, you get my point. We're going to talk about who watches the Watchers. We begin the episode with the Enterprise on its way for a standard supply run for a planet that's observing some local alien life.
We're en route to Mintaka 3, where a three-man Federation anthropological field team has been studying the inhabitants.
What's with this tense music? Nothing ominous has happened yet. You guys are just being Space AAA.
Our crew is replaceable. Your package isn't.
The scientists are using a duck blind, which we will later see in Star Trek Insurrection, which is basically a holographically camouflaged watching site so they can observe a pre-warp civilization without interfering with them. This is the essence of the Prime Directive, which will be heavily referenced in this episode.
According to Dr. Barron's preliminary reports, the Mintakans are proto-Vulcan humanoids at the Bronze Age level. Quite peaceful and highly rational.
Which is not surprising, considering how closely their evolution parallels Vulcan.
Vulcan history? Peaceful?
We were once a people like yourselves, wildly emotional, often committed to irrationally opposing points of view, leading, of course, to death and destruction.
My ancestors are barbarians. Warlike barbarians who nearly killed themselves off with their own passions.
Why don't you try watching some Star Trek, writer of this episode? And even while the Enterprise is in communication with the duck blind, there is some sort of a technical accident, and they're exposed and they're all injured. On the planet, which is called Mentok, there's a father and daughter, and they see the exposed duck blind.
What is that?
Is Kirk fighting the Gorn?
The father, Liko, climbs up there, and we watch pretty much the entire climb. This episode isn't padded at all, is it? And then he gets injured because of a random power surge. After he falls down, the daughter OG sees Dr. Crusher come up to him, examine him, and then sees him beam out.
So basically, in our attempt to preserve the Prime Directive, we have just peed all over it.
Because of you, we're all taking golden showers. What?
The Enterprise crew manages to get a hologram working again, but the damage has been done. Futuristic technology has been seen by primitive people. And Picard chews Dr. Crusher out for actually saving the man's life. Keep in mind, this is their debate on the issue.
It was either bring him aboard or let him die.
Then why didn't you let him die?
There's nobody that evil in real life.
Because we were responsible for his injuries.
I'm not sure that I concur with that reasoning, Doctor.
Picard, you're an ass.
Now that he's here, you must remove all memory of his encounter with the away team.
By erasing short-term recall.
It has been accomplished before.
I am familiar with Dr. Pulaski's technique.
Ooh, challenging her with the last Doctor's accomplishments. That's a good one.
Still, this is probably about the only time Dr. Pulaski will get referenced outside of her own season. Maybe a handful of other times. I don't think she even got referenced by name in the direct sequel to one of her own episodes. So this is pretty rare that you're actually going to talk about her. Dr. Crusher is not sure she'll be able to erase his memory because of his Vulcanoid brain, and, well, that's part of Star Trek lore, as Vulcans have very weird, hard-to-manage brains.
Also, that's part of the writer's contrivance for the week. You know it won't work, otherwise there won't be a story.
Liko kind of comes to half awake and sees everything blurry and weird and completely out of context for what he knows, but he sees everyone deferring to Picard, which they call him by name. He gets knocked out, his memory blanked, and he gets returned to Mentak. Unfortunately, the blanking didn't work in the slightest bit, and he remembers with perfect clarity.
I awoke in an incredible place, and my wounds were gone.
Heck, for all we know, she made him remember more details. Of course, he interprets this as a near-death experience in which he went to the heavenly realms and was returned, and now he believes in the supernatural of old, because these Bronze Age people have completely stopped believing in anything supernatural. We're not talking about they stopped doing human sacrifices, or animal sacrifices, or they stopped believing in multiple gods, or just no supernatural whatsoever. Not any kind of psychic phenomena or mantras.
They have no rituals. Just all of that is gone. It's just pure, cold logic. In the Bronze Age.
But those are just tales, Father. Old superstitions.
Wait a minute. How long ago did you abandon these beliefs? You guys are in the Bronze Age now. So, if it's been many generations since you abandoned these beliefs, how do you even know about them? Did you have writing back then? Are you telling me that you've got a society where even someone like Liko can read the ancient records? Because in human history at this time, literacy was very rare and restricted to the higher classes. And that's assuming that they would have writings from back before to even read. Have the storytellers of your tribe kept telling these stories for generations long after you believed them? Do they teach the children by saying, now, here's a bunch of nonsense that we know isn't true anymore, but I'm going to drill it into your head anyway. Hey kids, I'm required by the state to give you this 30 minutes of instruction, but don't listen to any of it actually, will you?
And now that you know how it's done, don't do it.
One scientist, Palmer, is missing, and so they go to find him.
If he is still alive, he needs medical attention. We must send an away team to locate him.
But our presence must not interfere with the cultural development of the Mintakans.
Agreed. Further contamination must be prevented.
Wow, Deanna, you said something that was both relevant and astute.
I was due.
Riker suggests cosplay, meaning that they'll dress up like the natives and go down there so they don't change their culture any more than they already have. And they eventually get the right costumes.
Like the Vulcans, they have highly ordered minds, a very sensible people. For example, Mintakan women precede their mates. It's a signal to other women.
This man's taken, get your own?
Not precisely. More like, if you want his services, I'm the one you have to negotiate with.
What kind of services?
All kinds.
They are a sensible race.
So, they're a race of pimping misandrists, and you call them sensible.
And again, we've gotten rid of all of these beliefs about the supernatural, but we still have this pervasive sexism. Progress!
And they walk in on Liko's revival meeting where he's spreading the message about Picard.
There are the stories of the Overseer, who could appear and disappear at will.
And couldn't this Overseer heal the dead?
He had supreme power.
Again, I ask, how do so many members of the tribe even know these legends if they've been lost in the mists of generations?
Troy and Riker try to dissuade Liko's claims in the dumbest way possible by simply saying, no, that's not true.
You had a very interesting dream.
Trust me, an outsider to your realm. That's going to make them believe it more. And then the natives find the injured scientist.
It's worse than we suspected. The Mintakans are beginning to believe in a god. And the one they've chosen is you.
Waiting for the bad news.